A security camera for truck beds. That's our Techstination. I'm Fred Fishkin. Joining us from Canopy is Chief Product Officer Sam Harris. Hi, Sam.
Hi, thanks for having me.
A pleasure to meet you. Tell us a bit about the company.
Yeah, so Canopy is a joint venture between Ford Motor Company and ADT. The project actually started originally within Ford, in a couple of different places, actually, interestingly. So I was working in the UK on the new transit vehicle that just launched. There was also a team looking at kind of connected services for the F-150 program. And we really kind of set out to understand what our users' biggest pain points were. And the theme that just kept coming back was for people who use their vehicles for work, the security of the vehicle is important, but sometimes even more important than that is the security of the things they leave inside the vehicle. The tools, equipment, material that they use to really do work, do their job and, earn money and pay the bills. And so we spent a lot of time with those customers. Security just kept coming back as like the #1 concern. And we kind of looked at the technology that was available on the roadmap, and we know that there's some great opportunities around integrating that technology into vehicles right at the line in the factory. But we also wanted to do something sooner than that and start learning and start getting this technology into the hands of customers as soon as we could. So that's why we set up Canopy. We actually reached out to ADT. We ran a small pilot with them while we were in Ford, and frankly, the feedback that customers had on the ADT portion of the service was just tremendously positive. ADT were really excited, so we decided that in order to offer something that's multi-make, that's for everyone, not just for Ford customers, not just for new vehicles, but something that anyone can order and install on their truck in a really short amount of time, we set up Canopy to do that, and that's what we've been working on for about a year now. Our pre-orders are currently open. We're seeing kind of tremendously positive feedback there. And we've been running kind of our social media campaign and development work to really get the brand out there.
Terrific. And when will you be shipping to buyers?
So we'll be shipping in September, kind of mid to late September is the current plan. The devices we actually have some of the team going out to see the final test devices running on the line shortly. So we are very close at this point.
So this is called the Canopy Pickup Cam. Step us through what it can do and the installation process.
Sure, absolutely. So the device really is more than just a camera. Like it's really about the detection that happens. So the device is an intelligent device. So it mounts on your rear window. The power unit, the hub unit, goes under the rear seat. So we split those two units out, and that way if a thief breaks and takes the sensing unit, you still have all of your data. We can still tell you where the vehicle is. That can actually go in a locking compartment on some vehicles. The new F-150 actually has a locking compartment under the seat that we designed it specifically to fit in. And the sensing unit is using like a combination of radar, accelerometer, some cameras to actually detect when a theft is happening. And the reason we do that is we don't want the camera running all the time. Because that's no good to anyone. If you're capturing 24 hours of footage every day that you have to go through to find an event, it's not helpful. So we use the radars. They're running all the time. They're not capturing data. They're just kind of monitoring the area. When we see something that we think is suspicious, so someone loitering around the truck bed, someone reaching into the truck bed, within half a second, we actually wake up the camera, take an image, and look at that image and confirm that there's a person in frame. If there is, we notify you, and shortly after launch, we'll be able to notify ADT, and ADT can dispatch police. You can call the police. We capture all of the evidence for when you need to do kind of insurance reports and police reports. That evidence is right there, and then we use the LED bar on the device, and we have some other surprising features coming later on that will actually be a deterrent for the thief as well.
So is there a cellular connection built into the camera?
Yeah, so the hub unit has a 4G cellular connection that allows you to live stream video whenever you want and receive all of those notifications in the video. So at any time when the device is active, you can just turn the live stream on, and the device will show you what's happening in the bed of your truck, kind of whether you're right next to your truck or you're on the other side of the country. It makes no difference.
And
One
you've
of
got
the
a pretty wide field of view here and a high quality camera, right?
Yeah, so it's a HD camera, 180 degrees field of view. The radars actually have over 180-degree field of view, and what we wanted to protect against was people coming up next to the cab and trying to reach into the bed. We can still detect those people. We have a very robust set of tests we run to confirm that the device is able to pick up everything we want to pick up. So yeah, wide field of view, kind of the complete protection of the truck bed.
And as far as the installation is concerned, did is this attached to the rear window with an adhesive, a 3M kind of thing, or what's going on there?
Exactly that. So we use VHB tape. We actually use the same tape that is used to mount like body moldings on the outside of the vehicle. So it's super strong. It's not falling off. It's not going anywhere. It mounts directly to the rear window. We actually include a template in the device packaging to help you mount it correctly. And then running the wires, installing the power unit takes about 15 minutes. It's a very, very easy install.
And where is it plugged into to get the power, more or less?
So we're launching with the OBD port, but really we can use any power in the vehicle. We just chose the OBD port because it tends to be free, not in use. You don't have to remember to unplug it. It's out the way, but we could use the SCAR jack. We can use USB ports, and that is something we're looking at for future vehicles.
And of course, your preference would be a Ford pickup, but can this work with any kind of vehicle or truck?
So Canopy is not just targeting Ford vehicles. Now, I spent a long time at Ford, so obviously I personally have a preference for Ford vehicles, but Canopy is multi-make. So we've tested it on everything from beat up old work trucks to brand new Rivians. Like we went and actually rented kind of the top 10 selling vehicles in the US and did what we call Truckapalooza, which was our testing event, where we went out and tested this on all of the trucks all at once. We figured out what trucks work well, what we needed to tweak for the trucks that weren't working as well. We really have like a broad set of data that allows this to work on anything.
Tell us about pricing and how this will work.
Sure. So the upfront pricing for the device is $299. For our pre-order customers, we're actually halving that to $149. Then there is a kind of a free period for the subscription of about 45 days, where you get to try the device, and then after that, the subscription is $14.99. And really, the reason there's a subscription is because the device has its own data connection. So similar to your cell phone, there's a data plan that we need to offer the live streaming and offer the intrusion alerts. And what that also allows us to do, which is I think the feature that we're kind of most excited about, is OTA the device. So over the air update the device. We have, OTA is a really hot topic within the automotive space right now, and it's something that consumer electronics devices have been able to do for a while because they're a little bit simpler. We've actually design the device from the ground up to be OTA updatable. So all of our features are actually going to get better over time. I'll give you an example of that. For our beta wave 2, which is just about to launch, we're going to get the device into the hands of about 100 people to do some final testing, final sign off. Our battery life is like 3-ish days, call it. By the time we get to launch, it'll be 5 days. And as we continue to optimize over time, we're kind of targeting well north of that. So the device, and as we learn more about the users and how thieves behave and how our users behave, the devices will only get better over time.
Really, really interesting. Is it transferable? How permanent is the mount once you've stuck it on that rear window?
So the device is not permanently affixed. There is a way to get it off, and we will actually have a device removal kit that requires you to kind of leave like a solvent on the window for a little bit of time to help the tape come off. I would say it's not permanently attached. It's not easy to get off, but it is transferable between vehicles as well. So if you sell your truck and get a new truck, you can just move the device from one to the other. It's probably not something you'd want to do every week, though. And
how did it come about, the idea? Tell us about the germination here.
Sure. So it's a interesting story, and I think there are a few versions of this story around. But I'll tell you my version, which is, so we were working on a new product for the transit program, and we wanted to put a camera in the bulkhead of the van, one of the earlier vans, but unfortunately due to kind of limitations and timing, we came up with the idea kind of late in the program. We just weren't able to get it in. I was actually charged with the software side of that at the time. I kind of went home that night, and my background is actually mechanical engineer. I was a mechanical engineer at Ford for a little bit, and I was like, well, this accessory can't be that hard to build, right? Dash cams exist. Maybe we put a dash cam in the load space. I'm sure this is an easy problem to solve. And it was only when we really started getting into it and exploring kind of like, well, for the van customer, for example, when you put a camera in the load space of the van, how do you know when to turn it on? And so we actually went out and we prototyped and built an audio model that could listen for people breaking into a van. We went and trained it on some samples of people breaking into vans. And so it was kind of, we uncovered this just like really interesting problem. And at the same time, we were speaking to users all the way through, people who buy vans, people who buy trucks. And we just, I think, maybe didn't appreciate how big a problem this was for our customers. So we were kind of uncovering both this like really interesting technical challenge to solve and just how deep a pain point this was for customers. And so I was working in a part of the organization called Ford Next at the time in the UK. This was actually, the project was called Sentinel when it was in Ford. Sentinel was one of the first projects at Ford X in the UK. Or in Europe, and then we kind of combined with another project, which is when Christian, who's our CEO, came on board. And since then, we've kind of grown the team. We were about 30 people when we left Ford. We're at just over 80 now.
Exciting. So where can people go for more information and maybe to order?
So you can go to canopy.security. The pre-order is open now, so you can go and get a pre-order device, or you can go to any of our social medias. We're kind of Canopy Security on all the major social media accounts.
And again, that's canopy.security. Sam Harris, thank you for spending time with us.
Thank you, Fred. Appreciate the time.